All right. Week 6 kind of exercise of assignment there. All right. So what basically I actually have discussed with your friend Rina from Group 7 there, okay? So hopefully this is not, this is one of the good sessions that I actually get from, response I get from one of the students there. Okay, what basically Rina has done, okay? Rina basically, I believe that she has a very good kind of basics understanding how she going to work with his, what we call that, illustrations kind of skill thing, right? But if you take a look, okay, if we take a look back again, according to the objective of our assignments, this is not the type of character development that we want to apply for our assignments. Do you know why? Do you understand why? Because she actually tried to design the characters based on this outcome. Okay, this is one of the first. We say her first what we call that design from front view, right? Based on the natures, mother natures, any kind of characters there, right? But why actually I'm saying it's not correct? Anyone have any kind of ideas there why? Hmm? You guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Why basically it's not right? Because she actually has IO because this is a part of the process, right? Okay, why actually it's not right? So I give her example, okay? If you want to work with the character design, this is one of my sample that I did for previously for the student tutor, okay? Based on the same kind of subject matters there, but my approach of my designs are going to be a bit is totally different than what she has done there, okay? What are the differences there? Can you see the difference there? What are the differences there? Not because of the skills of that I draw there, okay? The elements that I use, the methods that I use, right? And the approach that I use to create my designs is totally different there. What are the differences? Can you find any difference there? Not only styles, but the method. You can see the methods that I do there, okay? It's totally different there. What is it? Do you know how to explain that?
The sheep.
Jason, you don't know. All right. If you take a look closely there, okay? Uh, the design of the characters that Rina actually have done is were based on tracing back again from the reference there, models there. Even though it's a very good practice for our previous exercise, if you wanted to do this kind of development process for your skills, purposely to design or to develop your understanding, right, to improve your skills, yes, drawing skills, yes, you can apply that kind of methods there. But the main objective of our works, when I actually design from basic structures there, I really emphasize and show you guys this Monday there, right? When I designed the characters that I showed to you guys before the writing, it were based on from what? From scratch, right? From the basic shapes there, right? Into a character there. That means I'm using our reference, my reference, just to guide me to develop my kind of design there. My creativity I applied from there. I'm using my own imagination also to develop that character there, not just to apply to trace from other people's kind of pose, drawings, styles, right? Or copy them back, right? Okay? Or reuse them back there. Even though it's a very good process, it's a very good kind of learning, kind of understanding or experience there. But in the long term, in the long term, you will lose a lot of confidence there when you want to create your own ideas from there. Okay, you will lose a lot of confidence there. That's why give you now basically this kind of examples there. When I actually design my characters here, I'm sketched back again these characters based from my own imaginations. Even if you take a look closely, I have a few references with me there, right? Okay, left side basically some of the references that I get from Pinterest. The other side were basically my sketches there, even though I didn't actually share detail of it, okay? But this is how actually I can explain, okay? If you take a look at these pictures there, this is my sketches, very rough sketches there, okay? The proportion also doesn't look right here, okay? If you take a look at the eyes there. But this is my cleanup line there, my finishing kind of design there, okay? From front view for the same character there. So you can see the difference there, right, okay? You draw from reference, but or you draw from your imaginations. Okay, this is her reference there. So she draw on top of it. Yes, she draw on top of it. Routine, right, to develop that kind of ideas. Okay, I want to basically post-mortems what we can do from this design. This is one of the uh, latest kind of sketches from Renata. Okay, she sketched from her sketchbooks. It's a very good kind of practice there. Okay, but what we can do from here, I want to show you guys how it works. So now, okay, let's just say I have the sketches with me, right? Paste right here as a part of my samples of subject matters there. This is my reference. Okay, if you want to use an owl there, okay, as a part of your subject matters there, what you need to do after this? So what we can do there, okay, I'm not relying on Rina reference or sketches there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find another more reference there, more reference that I can use to develop my kind of understanding. One of the reason I'm going to find more reference because I don't want to have, okay, some people just trace from other people's design or artwork there, okay? So I'm trying not to applying back again the same methods there, but I'm using as a part of my what we call that uh, reference influence, all right, or guideline before I'm going to decide to develop on my own there. That's why when it comes to design characters, is really really critical there, really because if you don't actually understand about your subject matters, how you're going to apply them, you will find out, okay, for me, okay, from the experience that I have, okay, a lot of people, if they like someone design or characters, they just simply actually pick them up and try to withdraw back again into their own characters. Most people are going to do this, right? But the problem is when you try to design from someone character, someone design, I think, you don't actually understand the basic principle of designing that character based from the structures there. You see how actually people design the character there. They refer from one of the reference and they draw back again, right? Into different kind of design there. This is how the process of designing are going to be look like. Okay, let's just say I'm going to take a few of the samples on here just as a part of my guideline of the works. That's why, okay, when you look at someone designing characters, it looks nice there. But the problem is whether you really understand how it works or not is one is a different thing there, right? It's a different kind of level there. So that means if you don't actually focus and understand how it works, okay, if you take a look here, you can see a lot of flaws of those designs. Okay, let's just say I keep all the reference with me before I'm going to design. Okay, I have, if you take a look at that's not okay, I'm taking a lot of those reference there, right? Before I'm going to decide to design on my own. One. So where we're going to start there, right? First of all, we now design there, right? Understand first what are the basic structures or shape that she used to work with. Maybe circles, all right? Circles over here. Maybe a little bit kind of square, all right? Okay, this area there, maybe square there, right? This one look like an oval. And then if you take a look, okay, the shoe or the legs, it doesn't actually has a quite understandable, right, from the shape there. See? A lot of problems over here, right? A lot of complex things there that we also doesn't actually understand that. Okay? What is it? Okay? But I to make it more simplified, but thus it will take also, I'm going to use triangles and maybe a quarter of circles there. Right, this one from circles there, right? From circles there. I simplified a little bit. The hands or the arms or the wings, just say like that, right? See how simple basically I try to adapt that. The this is basically the structures of the owl there, right? Okay? The head. These are going to be the beak there, right? How the beak look like, a bit like that, right? Shapes, and then the eyes a bit more bigger there, maybe right. So this is basically the basic structure, huh? From here. I'm not saying this is the only way to work, but what I told you guys before, every single characters have different kind of shape can be applied there, right? But the formula is there using circle, square, triangle, right? Half of shapes, half of circles there, a bit kind of triangle maybe, right? Right, like that, see, or cone. So you must be able to see the whole thing in maybe some oval over here, and then more triangle there. It's like a satanic there, very kind of shapes there, but it's not, right? So if you really understand how it works with the shapes, it's easy for you to develop those characters. But the problem is, commonly, right, okay, normally people when they actually draw, they look all into shapes, but they look overall there first without having, they don't filter their way of learning, okay, the structures that they were about to design, okay. Those are the common problem that we face, even though we have to look into silhouette, right? but don't just look into silhouette without having understanding on the whole structures there. If you take a look at these shapes over here, right? I'm also using silhouette, right? Silhouette. It's not just about just draw anything you like, but the problem is right now what we want to focus here is your fundamental understanding there. If you take a look at this space of the shapes, it look like a bat there, right? Okay, rather than owl there. But we have also some of the strong shapes of elements that we can apply from here. Right? If we take a look at this one, this side there, okay, of design, right? The proportions totally wrong. Why? This one head is a bit more bigger, this head is a bit more smaller. The proportion is not also not right. Why? Because you don't understand the whole structures there first. And a lot of complexity is there. You want to draw those shapes there, okay? But this is the common thing happens there, okay? When it comes to design, okay? Because you can see a lot of around 80s kind of people there, okay? Around 70s, 80s, 90s there, okay? A lot of people actually, or illustrators or designers, they been caught up, okay? Been caught or trapped in the mindset that when we draw anthropomorphism kind of we draw a person who actually wearing a costume directly, not actually entirely designed as a character directly. So they don't simplify things there. If you take a look right now, I try to simplify things over here. If I want to do an owl there, I can also apply this kind of shapes of owl there. Half of the, what you call that? Half of it here. Okay. So the wings are going to be right here. Right. For example here. Yeah. Then these are going to be the eyes. Okay. Is it still look like an owl there? Still look like an owl there, right?
Yes.
So when you know how to play with shapes, for example, like this one, right? You see the way that I sketch my kind of shapes here. When you have a lot of good understanding there on your creations. So the legs a bit more smaller there, but the foot a bit more bigger there. Okay? Yeah. This is the hand and also the tail there. Right? Does it look like an owl there? Right, with a pose though. So this is the strong kind of understanding that we need to apply when it comes to design our practice there. Yes, of course, as I told you guys, look simple, look easy, but it's not easy as it looks there. If you don't build up your understanding, especially if you don't build up your confidence in your drawing skill. Right? Sketch your ideas from here. Right? Sketch your ideas from here. That's why when we design characters, don't just simply draw or grab some of the details first. Some people draw some details there like that. You know? They try hard enough there to draw some of the details there. But it doesn't look right. Okay? It doesn't look right. These are the problems we face a lot, especially for the beginners there. So This exercise or these assignments basically will challenge back again whatever mindset that you have here. If some people, maybe they're okay, I just assume, but this is normal thing happens normally, okay? Some people say, oh, my tactics or my way of working or whatever that I actually show you guys before are not working for you. So they're going to keep doing the same mistakes that they thought actually right for the entire of the assignments there. You can see the result from here. You can see the result from here. That's why I always stress to you guys, practice your drawing skills, improve your line and strokes, and also control your pressure strokes in the right way. It take a lot of time that works. They need a lot of time to build up that kind of confidence. Okay, for example, you want to draw an owl based on, okay, this is a bit more like half of the eggs, they right. Let's just say, make it more simplified, triangle. Triangle, they right. Yeah. Shapes of triangles, they right. Then the owl, right. Because when you design the characters, they right. We have to differentiate between the real characters, the real bird, and also a characters there. See? You must be able to see the difference between the real bird or owl and also the character design. That's what we call character design there, okay? Because they have to be different than the actual there. Okay, these characters look like an actual bird, right? But it shows also a character itself there. So let us say I'm using one single shape to design the whole character there, okay? But if I'm going to use this one there, right? Two single shapes, right? Two single shapes there, right? And then another shapes over here for the foot there, right? See? I'm using shapes only there, guys. I'm still using shape there. It still work, right? Still can be worked there. Yeah. I'm using two single shapes there. I bet three there, okay? One, two, three. Right, to work there, right? Still can be worked. So that's why you have to be smart when you design them and choose the best kind of subject matters that you work with it. Okay? If I use square, right, to design this character, right? Half of it, okay, these are going to be the beak, the eyes, and of course, go back into those shapes of triangles there from square, right? And then what we call that, the wings, and of course, triangles, triangles, there, right? But some people say, okay, how actually we're going to turn into three dimensionals there? That's basically the basic structures are going to be. And of course, I'm taking this kind of understandings also for some time there, right? Triangles, right? This one, the right triangle has to be looked like this, right? So it has to be logic. If you can see from different kind of perspective, they're right. Yeah. Your life are going to be a bit more exciting, okay? This came from this shape there, right? Everything is impossible is possible that it works. Hopefully we now are going to watch this video after this too, okay? So my kind of way, basically, I want you guys to open up your mind to any different possibilities. Don't just lock your mind set into one single direction. To design things, basically, we have a lot of options. If you may ask me again how actually I can go from here to there, okay? Everything because of this, Google. I study a lot there, okay? To study a bird is not that easy there, okay? But one of the best way, other than study other people's drawings, one of the best way, the old traditional way is to draw from the real life there. Study from the real life. This is how actually you can do it, right? For example, there, I think I want to draw this owl there, right? So what I can do, I think, or this, which one, I think, one. Um, is there anything that is more with more difference? So how about this guy there, right? Because there's a lot of exciting, right? If you study the whole your own subject matter, like you want to draw cats, what type of cats that you want to draw. All these kind of questions have to be in your mind and you take notes out of it there, right? Dogs, what type of dogs there? What breed of dog that you want to draw first? Do you choose first? Don't just simply randomly find, okay, I want to draw a dog, but you don't know what type of dog that you want to draw. Same goes with pets there, right? Even though when we want to draw anything, there are dogs or whatever it is, right? We can just simply draw something, but sometimes when we design some of the elements, some of the subject, right? It doesn't look the same there. This is the common problem that we have. It doesn't look the same, and people are going to assume as right. And why actually try draw a dog but it doesn't look like a dog, then look like a cat or look like a wolf there, okay? That kind of questions or that kind of inquiries always uh, happens there, okay? That's why we have to be careful on it, okay? Don't focus more on the cleanup line before you finalize your design there, okay? For example there, okay? Uh, Before we go through with the dog or cat kind of characters, for example, let's just say I want to design an owl back again, right? Top this one first. Back in the day, basically what we do, we have to draw and study back again from real pictures. There. We don't have those Photoshop. That means what I did do, what I basically done there. Okay, I'm going to draw, right? Back again all these creatures, right? To study the creatures there, just to make sure I understand how the creatures are going to be look like, right? So if I want to draw some, for example, like robot or cats or whatever, right? I have to do a lot of research first. So what I can do, I'm going to study my subject matters here. Okay? Even though it looks tedious there, right? Okay? But this is what all the animators or character designers always do, right? You watch Pixar, right? Okay, animations, right? Okay? Bugs Life, right? Okay? Or whatever animations that you have saw, right? Okay? All the designers they do this R&D the same thing. If you watch Lion King before the right day, Lion King from Disney, they right, they bring the real lion to the studios there, so the an artist can study them back, right? Can study them back, right? Okay? So those are the common things that we or designers always do, try to develop your our understanding there. Okay, from here, for example, all right, because we have the what we call that computer technologies. I want to create this character, this guy become one of the characters there, right? What I can do, cut and paste, for example, scale a little bit, right? And then I'm going to do some erase over here, for example, there, right? So they become a little bit kind of like big head and cartoon kind of characters there, right? For example, this is only an options, guys. Only an options there. So what I can do from here, because sometimes these techniques will have someone who actually cannot imagine that. Okay? If you have a very small or what we call a little kind of imaginations, right? Okay? These methods can help you to imagine a bit more better. Like, for example, I want to design a character based on the something method. I think what I can do, right? One of the good thing is I'm using Photoshop, right? Using lasso or feather going to be around 5, right? Copy, paste, then I'm going to scale. Right? So I'm using basically technologies to help me to imagine more better. Copy, paste, right? Okay. You see that? And then we can erase a bit some of the areas here. Right. See, they're going to be look a bit more into the characters here, right? More into the character. So from here, if I don't satisfy, I can use liquify. All right. What I can do from here? Oops, too big there, too small there. Then I'm going to adjust a bit there. Right? Okay. This is what technology can do for us. Small a little bit, short a little bit there. Right. But I did a little bit kind of chinchilla, right? Okay. You see the difference there right, between these two? So the next thing is what I can do. Don't really delete the right. Too much layer. So what I can do here, I can start to draw, or one of the best way, try to develop first your understanding here based on the structures here. This one shapes the right, the line of actions, and what I can do, right, the shape itself over here, the shapes over here, right there. See the difference there, right? The basic structures of the shapes there. Right. We study them first there. Right? From here, what I can do, maybe I can actually start to work, right? From the eyes like this. Okay, from here, I don't know whether it's right or not. Anyway, start with this then. Right. Because as a part of my reference that works there. And the shapes are going to be look a bit more like this. But it doesn't actually going to be, I'm going to be refined back again. All right. I'm going to refine back again there. So whatever that actually I've been working on, I'm not going to be used exactly that thing because I'm going to improvise them back. And it won't be good. Exaggerate a little bit, right? We call it exaggerations. See? We're not lying. Okay, based from the same reference. Yeah. Right. Is there any details yet that I actually try to do? No. So there's a lot of things we can do from here. But I'm not saying that the job are going to be finished right here. There's still room for us to develop. That's why focus there, okay? To develop them. Choose one subject matter, draw 7 different type of design. One subject matter there. I repeat myself back again. One subject matters, 7 different designs. You don't have to draw different subject matters, 7 different subject matters to complete these assignments there. One subject matters, different kind of design. What do I mean by that? This is one design. This is my first design, number 1. Okay. Design number 2. How is it? Maybe from here. What I can do here, I'm going to make the eyes a bit more bigger, good, right? Have fun with it there, right? Okay, with this process. The big also a little bit because I have saw some of the reference before there, right? So I'm going to design different kind of way there, okay? Maybe this arms are going to be, the wings are going to be a little bit more like this. Bit like that. This is only a sketch though, okay, rough sketch first. What we can do from here, maybe I'm going to put some sketch. This is only a rough sketch, guys. See the difference from here to here? Small difference, small changes that we do make a lot of difference there. Design number 2, for example there, right? But if you take a look at what I actually have done before, I've done more than one design, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 this is the process the developments, the understanding that I want you guys to build up together, okay? I didn't actually displace those drawings there, but I improvised them back. What else we can do from here? Right? Shapes over here look like this one. For example, this is the shapes over here. Right? This is the beak, the eyes. See? Catch it right. It doesn't take a lot of serious thing there. And then these are going to be the tail. These are going to be the wings there, right? See? And then the pose, maybe like this one. See the pose? From this pose, I try to imagine to design different poses. Design number 3. Can you get it right now? Where we want to go from here? So I play also with my imaginations when I get the reference with me, my reference with me there. This kind of routine you have to practice. I can only guide you guys and give you guys some example how it works. And the guideline, the methods are going to be the same when you work with other people's kind of characters, other subject matters there. But the point is right now, do you want to spend your time to develop that kind of creativities or not? This is a part of it, how to develop those creativities there. And a part of it, you're going to be creative, watch and do research, visual research, and analyze a lot of samples. A lot of samples. Okay? A lot of samples. Analyze them. You can try to withdraw back again, but try not to copy them. Okay? Use them as a reference, draw them back, and then improvise from here. Improvise from here. Okay? You can also try to watch or hit some people how actually they design subject matters here like these characters, different kind of pose, but rarely they use okay this one there okay these characters there, three different pose there at three different positions, but there's a one two three four different kind of pose there. How they solve the problems there. That's why work with the very basic subject matters there, or basics kind of shapes there first. One of the easiest shape that you guys can use is circles or oval there, right? Oval there, right? Because the oval shapes, they came from these kind of dimensions there, all right? When you turn over there, the shapes, wait up, I will get you for the shapes there, right? This is oval there, right? Shapes there, right? It's easy for you to turn over to side profiles there. But all this kind of practice takes time there, okay, to understand the whole thing, the whole positions there. That's why when you draw in 2D flat surface, it has to be looked dimensionally looked at. Okay? That's why when Rina actually asked me about her design is right or not, basically is not correct way to develop your understanding there. Because why? Because your perception is you trace from other people's posts. You didn't study your own basic structures there. You're not drawing from scratch. I'm drawing from scratch here right now. Right? All these kind of shapes over here that we use. So even though I'm taking some reference, but when I actually transfer back again into my characters, I go back into those basic shapes. Right? I know it's not that easy there, okay, but you need to push yourself. Otherwise, there are going to be a lot of difficulty in the futures there when it comes to this. Any questions there, guys?
So I have a question.
Yes?
Um, the about the character design. So we have to choose one subject matter,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have to use that one subject matter to create seven different types of, shapes
Yes,
and all that. So also each of the subject matter we have to like create three different positions.
yes,
Okay,
that's right.
all right.
Okay,
Okay,
guys,
thank you.
to make it a little bit more understandable, like, or less challenging, like, not less challenging, that for me, this is going to be easier, right? Okay? You take a look at how actually I draw my first characters in our lecture class, based from where? square there, right? The subject matter is square. So from square, I'm going to turn into a little boy or little man there, right? Okay, simple as that. I'm not actually trying to draw Naruto, Thundercats, He-Man, right? Any robots there, right? Okay, why? Because I want to understand first the whole subject. Even though, yes, if you choose the something that you like to draw and you have the passions to work with it, is good. But sometimes they're right, okay? People like something that they want to draw, but they don't understand how to draw them. They don't understand the whole entire structures there. For example, like, okay, if you want to design a robot, like, for example, right? What are the famous robot that you love? For example, Gundam there, right? Can you see how complex the design is, right? But it came from basic shapes. It came from shapes there, right? This robot there. But they use the anatomies of human being, and Gundam also been used samurai costume as a subject matter. Did you notice that? So they designed Gundam basically based from samurai costume, right? Okay? Samurai costume there, right? You see the samurai costume. It is based from the Sky Force, armor, right? From the games maybe there, right? So this is basically from the or not from original there, maybe not from original costume there, okay, but this is one of the samurai kind of costumes there. See, they look similar to Gundam there, right? Or Zaku kind of robots. So you have to know the origin of those designs. Most of the Japanese anime, manga, kind of what we call that characters, they were based on these ancient culture kind of elements there, concept there, right? So don't just simply like that kind of thing, but you don't know the heritage, the culture, the histories, the ideas behind those designs there. You must be able to understand that there's a lot of complexities over here. If you have the very good skill, go ahead. You can experiment yourself there, okay, to explore the methods there. But if you don't have, don't just simply actually try to be that person. Try to get into yourself first. What you need or you should learn first, okay, before you go to work on that. Right. I'm not actually trying to offend anyone, right? Okay, but if you actually still, if you want to draw something that actually quite exciting, right, but when you come to draw your character, you still draw like this, right? You don't know the proportions well, right? So I would say learn to draw first in the right way, right? Understand the whole principle of learning process to develop the skills there from basics there. Okay, let's just say you want to draw an owl, for example here. Mm, oops, all right, based from maybe Gundam or maybe Samurai there, I think, kind of costumes. What I can do here, I sketch it out first. Basic structures there. So, yeah, here it goes. This is the hands. It's not a clean-up line. I'm not actually clean up the line. This is the shoulder pad. This is the face. This is the eyes. Yeah, right. Basic structures there. Yes. Right. If you have to clean up the line later on, if you have enough understanding there, okay? I'm saying because if you have enough understanding there. Even though you want to draw the straight line, also you feel a bit kind of hesitate, right? Don't too ambitious when you design your structures there. Try not to become too ambitious there. Why? Because if you don't understand first the basic principles, whatever that you're going to do later on, there are going to be a lot of challenges there. Okay? I try to add a little kind of details there. Even though this is not a final design, okay, but trying to develop that kind of understanding. This is maybe the shoulder pad. I'm going to do a bit more like her. Not a shoulder pad, basically like a part of her his shoulder, but like a shoulder pad there. I'm using a very simple kind of shapes because I want to make sure that you really understand how it works. Here's some samurai, right? The headgears there, right? Okay? Some on shoulder pad, but came from the piece, his shoulders there, right? It came from there. I didn't design a purely costume or samurai kind of body armor there, okay? But look a little bit more like that, okay? But it's a very in the early development sketch. It can be improved a lot from here. But the thing is, we got the ideas there. You have the ideas from there. When you develop your ideas, it doesn't have to be everything in a very proper, clean up line there, okay? It does have to put a lot of colors there, okay? Sometimes, okay, when you design things like this there, right? What I did told you guys before, I want to see some gray scale kind of tone there, right? So what I can do from here, I'm using maybe soft brushes or wet sponge brushes. Reduce the percentage, right? And what I can do from here, either I can actually do some sort of like lasso tools. Just select it before we select the lasso tools. Because now I put it into feathers 0%, right? 5% now. Put it to 0%. Select the areas over here to capture the shapes. I'm not going to focus a little more details there, okay, but just want to give you guys some ideas there. If you want to focus on the selections more details, you can go ahead and you design your own there, right, okay? Because the important kind of what we call that the learning process that I want to see from you guys is how you develop your constructive line, how you tune up the line there, right, okay? And then the colors are going to be a little bit more like additionals there, but it's very good kind of exposures for you guys, right? So then, yeah, use the base colors over here. Shapes base scales. Base colors. This one also we have in this one. right? If I close this one, you can see the shape, right? The very strong shapes for the characters there. So do some selections back again, right? Top face because I accidentally don't select this image. So for example, like this one there, right? So what I can do, I can actually add some highlight maybe for the tone. Maybe there's a highlight over here, a bit. There's some highlights over here, a bit there. Right. The light came over here. Right? But if you do a lot of complexity of your design, the common problem that we face sometimes, or most of the time, is how to define them. Okay, the light and shadow. Those are also one of the issues, right? One of the issues that people always have, right? To define the shadows, shapes, right? Where the areas of shadow can be fall off, for example, directly. All these kind of common issues there. That's why don't draw too complex first. Okay, I think one of the pasar word called man there, I think, on your work first, okay? Don't you rush, okay, to do all these kind of details there. Give you guys some time to understand first how it works, right? It's just like a relationship with a girl there, I think, or a boy there, I think, or a guy there, I think, or a person there. Man a bit there, I think. Don't you rush there, I think. You know someone just want to get married there, okay? Relax, laugh for a while there, okay? The kind of things there. Right, enjoy first relationship, right, okay? And then if you think that you can grow with them, right? Towards the futures, then go ahead. Right. Just like a relationship. Right? But if you think that you can't, you change, right? Change the directions or change what you call that. The person that you want to is not actually right at the moment because you not get married together, right? Okay. You call off directly from the relationship there. Change there. The same goes to the design there, right? If you think those design doesn't work for you at the moment, then wait. Change first. Because they will have a lot of difficulty, right? When we design it. It's not all design that we're going to work are going to be used for our productions. So sometimes things doesn't work well. So it doesn't supposed to work, all right? From what we call that to the productions line there, right? So that means we have to do a bit kind of drastic measures or changes, right, to make sure that everyone doesn't actually suffer from the circumstances there, from the result that we actually made there. If you have to stay to that project or to that particular kind of design there for a while. So we have to work smart there. We have to make our decisions be quite fast there. Okay? So if you check out here, there, right, I just simply actually combine line, shape, and textures all right together with my design. Okay? If there is no such thing as a details there, right, as I want. So if I want to, right, combine these two together, if I want to do some selections, for example, these areas here, be like that, right? This is a little bit kind of advanced lah, right? Maybe these areas have do some selections for it, right? But this one is too advanced, right? Okay, but I just want to show you guys a bit how actually I managed to work with the shadows. Right? Copy paste, see the shadow here, and then I'm going to multiply. See the difference? Multiply then there. What else we can do from here? I can put some shadows over here. Let me use brush. Got it. See the difference there? So there's a lot of things we have to learn, right, hey guys? So take things one step at a time, but don't actually have a very slow progress there, okay? You need to know the level of understanding that you have to apply and develop there, okay? From each week there, okay, to improve yourself. But if you just draw once in a while, I cannot help it. If you don't put your interest on it also, I cannot help you there. The only way that I can entertain you guys when I do my demonstrations. I don't sing, I don't dance for this class. Other classes also, I don't do the same thing directly, but I can actually entertain from the perspective of developing your ideas and your skills in the right way. All right, see, even though I played around with these designs, but they look presentable. Those are the most important thing that people always forget already. You saw the process of I'm developing my kind of ideas there. Before I want to go from here there, right? How much time, how much actually efforts that I do, right? To develop my kind of understanding there. This is a part of the process here. This is number 3. All right. This is number 2. Right. Number 2 process there. And this is the first one. Based from Rina kind of design there. Rina kind of ideas there. And you see how many design process that I actually evolve before I get to draw the samurai owl there. You see that? Okay. The process of working there. 1, 2, and 3. As I actually demonstrate, talk to you guys, explain, my brain also developed kind of creative process to develop those kind of design there. I'm also never thought that I'm going to draw a samurai owl today. I didn't plan that, right? But as we actually develop, as I actually develop those understanding from your friends' ideas there, right? I developed that kind of process of developing along the way. Okay? So there's no magic, but it's all up to you guys. How deep you want to understand to learn to develop your understanding from the basics principles that is. That's what I say, don't talk about Naruto first. But it's good to study them. To talk about One Piece or whatever anime styles that you like in this world there. Back into realities there. What kind of skill that you can provide for these assignments there. If you can do better than me, go for it. Show it, right? Okay? Because I really love to see that, okay, that student can do more beyond what I've done. Right? But what I did basically a few minutes. It's a few minutes only. I develop this idea for you guys. But the process of developing is you have to keep that in your mind, take notes, and apply. The way that I produce my ideas is the same that you should produce. Don't just copy from other people's works and then you claim it's yours. Okay? So develop from here. Today, I did show you guys how to develop, how to find some ideas, how to develop your understanding from your sketches, right? You saw the way I move my hands to control those kind of drawings there, right? And your job is right now to work on it. If you cannot do it right, don't be stubborn to follow your way, right? If you're gonna draw well, don't follow your wrong kind of path there. Follow my lead first, and then you will find your way when you develop, right? One step at a time, your skills. It's all about to develop your skills. I'm providing the methods how to work with it. If you don't follow, it's your choice. If you don't get it right, it's your choice. Okay? Understand what I mean there? You understand what I mean here?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Is it clear there? Okay, the direction that I show you guys right now, or too complex there, right? Okay, where's your face? I don't see your face there, okay? You got around 1, 4, 8, 12, 16, right? Show your face, all of you. Ah. Well, you have to be shy, okay? In our meeting, in my meeting, right, with the meeting and committee, right? Okay, we don't actually close our webcam there, right? So how is it? Hmm. One of the best way, if you think, it's very stuck, like, I don't know where to go from here. Use a very simple shape, like circle, and design the character there. Use all the simple kind of shape there to develop that kind of understanding there, okay? Put circles in different kind of manners there, okay? Directions, alignment there to work with it, okay? So that kind of thing also can be developed there, right? It can be developed as a part of your understanding there. Go wear my shirt there, okay? It's okay, Sanjay, okay? More sexy there, right? Show a bit kind of your bulu over here, certain video, right? Okay, guys, huh? So I know designing characters is beyond basically what you think. All right, okay? Sexy a bit lah, sexy, right? Too much hair there. So it's beyond basically, okay? It's beyond there, right? Okay? But it's a very good exposure for you guys because in the futures, hopefully, when it comes to this, to learn animations later on, to the animations, cell animation subject, okay? Even though our next semester's digital operation, right? Hopefully, you have been exposed earlier and you know basically what you expected there, okay? What you expect from the assignments or from the exercise that you're going to do there, okay? So that's why this is a very good challenge. If I were you guys, because when I actually at my foundations, like you guys are already foundation then, I did not actually have this kind of exposure because we actually had been trained from the very formalistic, fundamental kind of art and design discipline there. But my kind of mindset, I want to design characters there. That's why I try to train myself, right? Myself beyond what I actually have learned, the fundamental. I still learn fundamental there. I didn't actually throw away all the lessons that I actually get from my lectures there because I know it's very important there. But in the half of my times, okay, every day I'm going to develop and draw other things that I like. So I combine all this knowledge together though, okay. A lot of people always make mistakes, especially new or students that they don't know how to combine them, what you've learned. You have to learn how to combine them because nowadays there's a lot of exposures that you can get, information that you can get more from the internet than I am. My resources back in the day only books. I stopped buying books a few years back only. Right. Uh, this year kind of bad wolf, kind of big bad wolf. I didn't buy much directly because I know most of the resources I can get from the internet. Okay. But previously, before recently, okay, before one few years back, okay, I always buy books from Bashir, from Page One. Right, there's a lot of illustration books in my house, okay. Uh, but I stopped them because one of the things because I know there's a lot of resources I can get, okay, from the internet nowadays. Okay, Sanjay, now I can see your face there, okay. It's been a while, okay. After this while, I didn't see your face yet, right? So, uh, don't shy, okay.
Yes, I'm shy.
We,
Too shy.
I'm also a shy kind of person there. You can ask Yin Chi there, okay. When you saw me outside there, right, okay, I didn't talk much, and I didn't actually. Even though when you look at me, I always look down there, right, okay. I'm really shy there,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
No, not right. Okay. But sometimes students always shy on me. I don't know what. Okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, you guys can. When you saw me outside there, I always eat alone. Not because I don't have friends, because our timetable with our clique is not the same there. Right. But I have a few of my cliques also. Okay, I'm going to go to lunch together. Okay. But of course, okay, we have to know the barriers of where we want to show, not show off, but show our talents in the right way. Okay? So right now, when we learn something, okay, you must be able to have a very advanced kind of thinking, okay, before you came to the class. For example, do a little bit kind of research. What do you expect, and what question that you might going to ask them. Until this day, when I actually talk to my lecturers directly, because some of my lectures is quite popular directly, um, they do some webinar, some conference, I'm still feel a little bit kind of inferior to ask questions. Right? Because maybe a level of respect I have with them. But it's normal things. Right? Even though I can talk to the audience, right? Okay, I can talk to the big audience, okay, naturally nowadays, but I still have that kind of stage fright sometimes, okay? Normal things, okay, but you have to build up that kind of confidence there from time to time, okay? Same goes to design and drawing there. It's important for you to develop your kind of confidence there when it comes to drawing your strokes. Otherwise, everything are going to be thrown on the dustbin there, right? They be thrown away on the drain there if you don't practice in the right way. I'm not expecting you guys to draw a very complex kind of characters there. You'd want to draw characters from eggs, from apples, for example, from fruits, go ahead. As long as the directions, the structures, the the controlling methods of pressure strokes is right. The understanding about anatomy is also right, balance and up there. I know we cannot actually go through a lot of detail at this time, okay, but maybe next week after you submit your first assignments, then we can go post-mortem back again, develop our understanding to develop those anatomies kind of studies there. All right, okay? So at the meantime, don't stop drawing or practice yourself. Don't be lazy. If you're lazy enough, everyone lazy. I'm also lazy. When I was in these positions right now, I want to go to sleep. Really there, I think. I really also feel the same thing like what you guys have, but because of the commitments, I'm here for you there, right? Just now it's rain there, I think. In my house, Kajang is rain there, I think. So feel sleepy if you tired a bit there, I think. Everyone has, but how you fight for it. Okay, you have to fight for it there. I didn't expect I want to design this kind of characters there, even though it's not a complete characters there, but it's a concept design that we actually can call concept design that based on the characters works that we should do for our assignments there. I bet few students are going to ask this question there. Sir, do we need to draw like this only? All right. Remember our first brief, three different positions there. Three different positions there. It works. This one that I actually draw is only a concept design. It's not finished design there. So don't expect, okay, this is complete, no? Where how actually we know it's complete? When you can design those three different positions. Okay? Whether it's right or wrong, go for it first. Make some mistakes. I take also a few years to understand how to develop this kind of understanding there. What do we expect? In 6 days, you can become pro, right? You cannot expect that, right? So be patient there. It's a process of learning there. Okay? It's a process of learning there. It's not like you buy food today, then you can eat, right, at the same times. It's a process of developing your mind. You train your mind to develop those capabilities there. It takes time there afterwards. That's why when people say, okay, you can draw, it's simple, you can draw, okay, I can pay you to draw this one, okay, for example, okay. Now you understand how hard is it to develop one single design. And when you actually experiment one, some uncle maybe or some auntie maybe came to you, and can you design a logo for me? How much do you actually expect? Or I can pay you 50 ringgit, for example, or 150 ringgit is quite expensive, okay? You know how hard is it right to draw, but sometimes you want the job, you want him to pay the job there, okay? Then you take it that 50 ringgit there. Then there's a lot of few amendment that you have to follow them, okay? Then you will feel a bit kind of guilty to yourself. Why actually get this job? Because they pay only 50 ringgit, but I have to do for almost 1 week and a half there. They spend a lot of my times together. I cannot go for my dating, cannot go to movie, I cannot leisure myself. Work for 50 ringgit for 1 week for what? 50 ringgit, at least you can work around 1 or 2 hours there, maybe. Then you can get the 50 ringgit. For example, say right. Okay? Or 50 ringgit you can get around 1 hour, you can get 50 ringgit for examples there. There's a rough calculations, right? You have to understand where your benchmark is. On social media nowadays, if you go into that kind of social media, some of the graphics kind of what we call that page or community there, okay? Some people say want to design a posters around 50 ringgit, right? 50 ringgit there, right? Okay? So if you take a look at the mentality of Malaysian people, right? They don't actually act professionally like that. You ask your parents who actually made their business, I think, did they give any discount for their sale for their things there? For the thing their sales? No, they're right. Rarely we can actually get sale. Okay, maybe Giant, maybe Eon sale, maybe they have the sale there. But the sale that they made normally is the sale that they still have the profit out of it. It's not the cost kind of price there. Unless the shop are going to be closed, right? Sometimes you see a lot of business people there, I think. Just like what happened in Cameron before there, again. No one actually want to buy that vegetables there again. If no one buy, they don't want to sell, but they just leave it there, throw away there. But for us, maybe like it's quite such a waste, lah. But this is the mindset of the business people there. You don't want to buy, they throw away. Right. But normally, like the Malaysians, especially in my kind of practice, we don't actually throw the food away. We give to other people. But the mentality or mindset, a lot of business people is like that. Same goes to design careers there. Right now, you have to demand a bit. People don't want to do your design, do other jobs first. Right. Do other jobs first. That's why nowadays people have the multiple job already. I also have multiple jobs there. Right. Do freelance, do designs, do designs, freelance, work for other people. There are for companies that may be teaching, sell some durians, right? Or do some other business at the same time. Don't rely on one job there. If you rely on one job, you're going to suffer lah. Unless you have a steady job, for example. You work for other kind of design companies, your salary is quite good for you, maybe 200, 2005, maybe 3005. Some of the students that I taught, they have this kind of standard kind of rate for the students there, right? So you have that steady job, but I believe they also do a lot of different things. If they have some spare time there. Why? Because steady jobs make your own living there. Other incomes is to gain a little bit more kind of what we call that. You're going to gain a bit more profit from that, right? Okay? But don't sell low, too low to your goods, unless you want to give a charity. Like. Charity also have price for it, right? Or you want to give some sort of gift to other people, yes. Sometimes when some of my relatives or people that I know told me, okay, can you give me, can draw for me for free, right? Okay? What I told them, right? Okay, I want to draw for free because I want to give you as a birthday gift, for example, or wedding gift. Right? But if you really want me to draw for free, the thing that you should do for me, try to find me 10 clients, okay, to do the same thing. Right. Then I will give you free. One drawing for you. For example, right. So if they don't want to pay you, don't do the job, that's all. You can do other things there. Right. So prepare yourself. And the best way at this time, at this moment, promote yourself there. Whatever that you guys learn, promote on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Let people know what basically you do there. Okay? If you want to do some vlog about your learning experience, go ahead. Right. So there's a lot of way to make money, right? I'm also doing my own YouTube, but not the YouTube that I did for you guys right now, okay? I'm planning to do my own things also there, okay? Because nowadays there's a lot of possibility that you can actually earn money without working for other people. But if people want to hire you, it's a blast. Take it there, okay? And plan your works there. All right. Okay, guys? To understand, right, how it works here? How the life, how the way that we work as a designer there, right? So develop that kind of benchmark for you there. And my kind of methods of working, right? If I don't have enough kind of budget to hire people, I don't hire them. Simple as that. But if you have a group of your friends who can work together in the same directions, then maybe you can achieve together. But it's hard to find a very good kind of group of people or friends can work together. You will experience it one when you have a group project there. I think your friend Yuchi also have this kind of experience before. That's why I didn't actually encourage, okay, for my subjects, work with a team there. Maybe later on for other subjects maybe, but my works is always individual kind of development. Okay? If you do animations, work on yourself at first. Then you know how hard is it you're going to work with the process, and you know how to manage them with the people. And you know how to talk to other people about your work. Okay? All right. Any questions so far about the process of designing those characters there? Right, please follow exactly, right, first, and then you can improvise from there. If you have your, I'm not saying that you have to follow the same subject matter, lah. That's a, that subject matter actually from Rina kind of choices there, right? I just show you guys back again how actually you're going to improvise from there. You can use your own subject matter there. But my suggestions, simple shapes only, and try to design in a different kind of way there. It will be challenging. Simple things is not that easy. But if you can actually develop that kind of understandings, it will give you guys a lot of advantages. Even though you want to draw chibi characters, go ahead. But don't just trace from other people's works. Try to develop your own kind of way there. Because one of the most important thing that I want to evaluate is all about how you develop your basics, sketch line and strokes there. See, this is only an optional or additional there, kind of features there. But if you cannot draw, sketch in the right way, you will get less marks from there. 20%, I'm going to cut into 10 maybe there, right? Okay? Because you're not drawn or sketched in the right way, right? Okay, I repeat back again because the videos, most of the students will watch the video, okay? If you don't actually draw in the right way, I cut 10% from 20 marks. Then half of it. Why? Because that 10% is the most important marks that you need to show your ability to control your pressure point first. The design is secondary there. Right? You move your hand first in the right way, right? Develop the sketch line in the right way. Then, if you have complete, you understand how it works from there. Then you can clean up the line up. It's more easy. Right? Simple there. I didn't ask you guys to draw that kind of complex characters there. Game characters or whatever thing that you have in mind. Develop one step at a time. Because I know multimedia students, even the graphic students, have the same, what we call that, difficulties. Because you guys not all came from a skill-based kind of, what we call that, person there. Most of you guys have zero knowledge there. So start from beginning. Okay? Learn one step at a time, but don't lose your practice there. Keep on practicing there. How to build up your interest? You have to force yourself. You have to force yourself. As a teenagers, you will like people to force you, but you have to push yourself. No one can. Okay? You have to build up those interests within you. No one can. Okay? If you block yourself, no, I can't, I don't want to draw, you cannot actually move forward there. Simple as that. Okay? So you have to push yourself there. No matter how hard you're going to cry, you're going to angry with yourself there, okay? That's a normal thing. That's a normal process. Because you want to be good at it, you have to push yourself more from it. No one can force that. Even though I give you guys a ton of techniques, way of working, if you don't push yourself, you don't open up your mind, no one, there's nothing change can be happens from there. Okay? Alright guys? So, any questions before we dismiss? No? Alright, good luck with your assignments here. Alright, keep that in mind. Okay? What are my expectations there? I'm not expect you guys to draw Mickey Mouse there, okay? Or Doraemon or whatever cartoons that we have saw that, but you can study from there also. Study from there, okay? So that means from here, hopefully you see there's a few kind of sketches you have to develop before you finalize your design. Enjoy those developments. A lot of people make mistakes. The first thing they want to draw, they always came with magic from there. Everything has to be perfect. Life is not perfect. Development process is important. Process is important. You find a perfect person in your life. Once they're okay, you thought they're going to be your partner, maybe Lara individual, right? but you don't learn to understand about the person. There's no process, right? You just choose the fact, you choose your things there, okay, and then you get married. That's what happens, right? The relationship doesn't last long. But if you really understand about your your partners maybe there, okay, no matter how hard you fight together all the time, okay, you still find the good things about them, right? And you stick together there, relationship there. Design characters or build up your skills is just like build up your relationship there, right? Okay, remember that. It's build up your relationship between you and yourself there. Words. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Right, and good luck with your assignments. Okay, and keep update with me. Okay, keep update with me. Okay, with your works there before basically we have to go to next week there. Okay, the video sessions of your presentations is like this one there. Okay, you do some pre-record of your works. You show the work from the first until your week 6, right, for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you upload in our Google Classroom. That's all. MP4 format. Okay. Then we are going to do some. We are going to conduct our class as usual. Because the video, maybe I'm not going to be review on our practical or lesson lessons there, because there's a lot of things that we have to go through for our lessons. That's why I don't want to waste our time just to revise or review. But I'm going to pick. Normally, I'm going to pick 1 or 2 videos or maybe 1 or 2 samples that can be used as a part of our reference lah. Okay, this one we should do like that, because most of us will do the same mistakes. Normal there, right? So take the guide from there, take the command from there, try to you know what you do there. Okay? You know what mistake that you have done there. Then you improve from there. You want to direct somehow, you want direct comment from me, right? Consultation, just buzz me on the WhatsApp. Okay? So I can give you direct comment. It's more faster, right? Okay, guys, good luck. Have a nice day. Have a good evening, and take care of yourself. All the best. Bye.
Thank you,
Hi,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.